Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. Today is the first in a series of 11 videos that I'm going to put out in the month of November this year. I'm going around Charlotte, North Carolina, where I live, and looking for monuments and historical markers about people from Charlotte who are veterans in any of the many wars that we have fought here in the United States. I'm really excited for this series. I've worked really hard on it. This is actually the last one I'm filming, although it is the one that inspired this whole series. I can't wait to tell you about this humongous statue over here and its significance to Charlotte's history. I want to tell you the story of Captain James Jack. I've been noticing it for years and years as I drive past it, and I just assumed it was a statue of Paul Revere and was never particularly interested in it until I started looking up historical markers for our veteran series, and I've got a really cool story for you. This is not Paul Revere. This is Charlotte's own version, kind of like our own Paul Revere. I'm very excited to share this story.
The statue that we are going to film today is the statue that initially inspired me to make this series of videos. I have driven past this statue many times since it was initially dedicated in 2010, but I never really gave it much thought. I think there was even a point in time when I assumed it was a statue of Paul Revere. But in doing research for memorials and historical markers around Charlotte, North Carolina, after Michael and I moved back here, I stumbled upon what an amazing story this statue represents, and it kind of kicked off my idea to dig into finding out more cool local history to share with the channel. The more I learn, the more I want to share it here. Captain James Jack was a Revolutionary War hero, probably best known for his Paul Revere-like ride from Charlotte, North Carolina to the Second Continental Congress in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, on a mission to deliver a copy of the Mecklenburg Resolves in 1775. Born in 1731, James Jack was the oldest of 9 children in a family of Irish immigrant ministers that came to the American colonies and settled in Pennsylvania. The Jacks relocated to North Carolina during the French and Indian Wars. In 1766, James Jack married Margaret Houston, and the couple soon moved into Charlotte. They built a home on a lot that they purchased from the elder Mr. Jack and operated a tavern out of it. James Jack earned a fortune from real estate speculation and was later appointed as a tax collector as well as an overseer of the poor in Mecklenburg County. Tensions were growing across the colonies over the pronouncement by the British Parliament and King George III, and North Carolinians were struggling with their loyalty to the king and their desire to govern themselves. Charlotteans were already burdened by the oppressive, unjust laws of King George III. Things boiled to a head on May 19, 1775, when a rider raced across Charlottetown with the news of a massacre of colonists by the British at the Battle of Lexington and Concord. Charlotteans were enraged by this news, and a band of local patriots met through the night and into the morning of May 20th to draft the Mecklenburg Resolves document. This document declared British laws and authority to be null and void and outlined how they planned to self-govern. James Jack and his father were strong supporters of the call for independence, and reportedly many of the Committee of Safety meetings were conducted at the Jack's home site tavern. Captain James Jack volunteered to deliver these treasonous resolves to the Continental Congress, knowing full well that if he were caught, he would immediately be hung. He risked his livelihood, property, family, and very life to the transportation of this important document. He was successful in slipping past British regulars and spying Tories and galloped on his way towards Philadelphia. He stopped briefly in Salisbury, North Carolina, to have the document read publicly into the records of the district court session. After a journey of nearly 600 miles through both the Appalachian Mountains and flatland, he reached Philadelphia, where he presented the Mecklenburg County Declaration of Independence and demanded that it be read into record. However, when he reached Philadelphia, he found that the North Carolina delegates there were still hoping for reconciliation with England and considered the document that he had delivered to be premature. However, this document is important as it was technically the first Declaration of Independence, drafted a full year before Thomas Jefferson's much more famous document. Captain James Jack's ride, not unlike Paul Revere's famous ride that alerted patriots to the British landing in Boston, helped kindle the embers of revolution in the Continental Congress. Captain James Jack's ride was on average about 30 miles each day on horseback, which was extremely hard riding for that time period and the geographic challenges that he faced. He completed the round-trip journey of over 1,100 miles in only 38 days. Captain James Jack was a popular captain in the Mecklenburg militia during the Revolutionary War. As punishment, Lord Cornwallis had Jack's elderly father removed from his sickbed and imprisoned in a damp cell for questioning. The elder Mr. Jack died shortly afterwards of the harsh treatment in September of 1780, and the Jack family home was burned to the ground. The tavern was eventually rebuilt, but the financial loss, in addition to the fact that Jack's personal money had all been spent for wartime expenditures, was never reimbursed, and Captain Jack was left in ruin. After the war, Jack moved his family to the western part of North Carolina, which at the time stretched all the way to present-day Nashville, and then ultimately they moved to Georgia, where he attempted to become a farmer. He died in December of 1822 at the most likely age of 91 years old. The following is from the obituary for Captain James Jack. He spent the prime of his life and his all in the glorious struggle for independence, and enjoyed it with a heart warmed with gratitude to the God of battles. Wealth had no charm for him. He looked for a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens, whose builder and maker is God. This statue is titled The Spirit of Mecklenburg, and it is a 1.5 life-size bronze equestrian statue of Captain James Jack. The sculpture stands in a large central fountain in a park in uptown Charlotte called Elizabeth Park. The statue depicts Jack on horseback riding at a full gallop. He is wearing a buckskin jacket and a tri-hat and riding boots that reach almost to his knees. A powder horn and a small pouch hang on his proper right side. The horse's head is turned to the proper left, with Jack leaning forward to the same side as if he is turning his horse. The statue was created by Chas Fagan, a self-taught artist from Belgium. He has other works, including the official statue of Ronald Reagan in the United States Capitol Rotunda and the official White House portrait of Barbara Bush.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoy all 11 videos that I do in the month of November. This is just the first. There will be 6 videos about American Revolutionary War heroes, and then there will be 5 more stories about people who were in other wars or monuments dedicated to veterans from other wars. I really hope that you enjoy each and every one of these. I'll see you guys another day in another video. Bye, everybody.